Welcome to Learn Short and Typing with Vikas sir. Legal matter for Punjab and Haryana High Court and Chandigarh High Court. Exercise number 3 and 4. Advanced magazine continuously dictation at the rate 80 to 100 word per minute. We ready? Start. After the partition of the country on August 14, 1947, the partitioned state of East Punjab had no capital of its own. Therefore, it was decided to develop a new city as the state headquarters, and keeping that project in mind, the Capital of Punjab Development and Regulation Act 1952 was enacted. Pursuant thereto, the first planned city of the country, namely Chandigarh, came to be established, which also became the capital of East State of Punjab. However, with the reorganization of the state of Punjab in the year 1966, Chandigarh acquired the status of Union Territory, though it continued to be the capital of both the states, namely Punjab and Haryana. It may, however, be noted that Chandigarh was not declared as an urban area for the purposes of the Rent Act. It was in the year 1972 that the central government decided to extend operation of the Rent Act to the Union Territory of Chandigarh, and consequently a notification dated October 13, 1972 was published in the Gazette of India on November 14, 1972, whereby the area comprising in the Union Territory of Chandigarh was declared to be an urban area under Section 2 of the Rent Act, by virtue of which the Rent Act became applicable in the Union Territory of Chandigarh with effect from November 4, 1972. The aforementioned notification, however, came to be challenged. A full bench of this court in the case of Hari Krishna Singh versus Union of India 1975-77 PLR 163 held that the Rent Act was applicable within the territory of Punjab state, therefore it could not be extended to the Union Territory of Chandigarh through a notification. The court, however, expressed the view that the Rent Act could be enforced into Chandigarh through an Act of Parliament. It was thereafter that vide Act number 54 of 1974, the Parliament passed East Punjab Urban Rent Restriction Extension of Chandigarh Act 1974, thereby extended the Rent Act to the Union Territory of Chandigarh with retrospective effect from November 4, 1972. In terms of Section 4 of the 1974 Act, the Parliament gave overriding effect to the provisions of the Rent Act in Chandigarh, irrespective of any judgment, decree, or order passed by any court, coupled with the fact that it was introduced retrospectively. It appears the Parliament intended to protect the tenants of Chandigarh so that the provisions of Transfer of Property Act, under which a landlord could seek possession of the rented premises after issuing a notice of termination of tenancy, were not available to him. The issues had been framed in the suit on 31/7/1998 and thereafter, in view of the submissions of the parties before the division bench, the parties were ordered to file their respective affidavits. The court also directed that no oral evidence would be adduced. The defendant numbers 2-4 subsequently filed an application under Order 19 Rule 1 CPC for calling the witnesses who had filed affidavits for their cross-examination. By order dated 14/1/2000, their application was rejected in view of the fact that the division bench in FAO 115/92 had recorded that no oral evidence would be adduced and suit could be disposed of and on the basis of affidavits of the parties. After more than 8 years, defendant numbers 2-4 again moved this, seeking permission to lead oral evidence and to cross-examine the witnesses. This application was rejected by this court's order dated 28 May 2008. Issue numbers 1, 3 and 11 are interrelated and are therefore considered together. The contesting defendants argue that the suit is liable to be dismissed for more than one reason. It is contended, firstly, that the plaintiff does not describe the property in all the, therefore is not compliant with the provisions of Order 7 Rule 3 CPC, which mandates that in such civil proceedings the subject matter of the suit has to be described specifically and with precision. It is contended that if in fact the property exists and there is no possibility of its partition on account of its misdescription or non-description, the suit has to fail, since there ought to be no partial partition. Reliance is placed upon the decision reported. It is next contended that despite disclosure at the earliest opportunity in the contesting defendant's written statement about execution of a perpetual sublease in 1967, creating interest in the property in favor of the first defendant, the plaintiff has chosen not to seek declaratory relief or a decree for CS number 2133/1989, page number 6, cancellation of that instrument, or 7, an amendment of the suit incorporating such fresh reliefs. Such being the position, claim for partition cannot be granted as the beneficial interest and title vesting in the contesting defendants by virtue of the perpetual lease deed and the convenience of interest recorded therein bars such relief. Full stop. स्टूडेंट ये आपकी डिक्टेशन दी विद फ्लक्चुएशन 100 वर्ड पर मिनट की डिक्टेशन दी. इसमें आप टाइप कीजिए, टाइप करने के बाद इसको मैच कीजिए. थैंक यू वेरी मच. हैव ए गुड डे.